Now it's time to attack the solo on Bad Women, Bad Whiskey, which is a classic solo played in the key of E. He does a lot of really neat stuff and some really unique stuff in this solo. That's why I like it. Let's start out. I'm just going to go through it phrase by phrase. I don't have a backing track. I wish I did. And I don't want the copyright police on my back, so I'm not going to play the tune behind me or anything like that. So let me just take you through, and then again, you can listen to the original, you can use my tab, and you can figure this out. It's unlikely that you're going to play this live with a band, note for note, but what I'm hoping is by showing you note for note, you can learn some things you can do in the key of E, or in this type of song. And that's what I get from this stuff, is I learn a lot of ideas. This tune, in the key of E, there's some licks involving open strings, and there's one involving kind of a minor chord thing that's really cool that you can use if you want. Let's start out and just go through it phrase by phrase. Here's the first phrase of the solo. I'm going to take it from the turnaround. There's the first part of the solo. It's pretty simple, one of the simplest parts of this. I'm going to start from the second fret of the fifth string, my B. And I'm going to walk the bass by going from the second fret of the fifth string, open fourth string, second fret of the fourth string. Then I'm going to go open third string, first fret of the third string. Like that. Open second string, I'm going to slide twice, and hold the second one. Then I'm going open, so the slide is from the second to the third string, on the second to the third fret on the second string. Open second string, second fret of the third string, open third string, second fret of the fourth string. And then he does this really cool thing where he gets the fifth fret of the second string. Whoops, I'm sorry. Open second string. And then he gets the fifth fret of the second string. And holds it. So the whole first part of the solo. Whoops. Then he goes to the next part, which is something like that. That's pretty darn close. So, open first string, third fret of the first string, open first string. And then the second string, he does the same thing. But this time he doesn't hit the open, he hits the third fret of the second string. Like that. Open second string. And then here is an example of the cool stuff that I had to listen to this quite a few times to hear this. Maybe I'm just dumb. But he does a slide on the next note. So it's like this. So he's sliding from the second fret of the third string down to the fourth, or up to the fourth, and then back. You hear that. That's got to be what it is. I'm pretty darn sure. And then he goes to the second fret of the fourth string. And then he does this first open third string to first fret of the third string. Then open second, open first, third fret of the second string, open. Then he does this bend. The bend on the second fret of the third string. And that gets us to the next part. So the whole first part, or the second part, let's just do everything we got so far. So it goes like this. And then he's going to go from the 2nd fret of the 4th string, and he does this hammer on the 1st fret of the 3rd string, and then open 2nd and 1st, and he's going to do this 3rd fret of the 2nd string, open 2nd fret of the 1st string, and he's going to walk up the scale. So I'm going from the 2nd fret of the 1st string, open, 3rd fret of the 2nd string, open, 2nd fret of the 3rd string, open, 2nd fret of the 4th string, 2nd fret of the 4th string, and then open. And that's where he gets ready to go into the 4. So that whole first part of the solo, let's see if I can play this. Included too many notes there in a couple spots. Again, listen to the original and the tab, but this is what he's doing. He's playing in this E, first position, E position. Now the next part of the solo, this is part that I'm not sure on. It sounds like he's doing this minor lick. It goes like this. And the first part of it, I cannot tell what he's playing. It sounds almost like an open 2nd string, open like that. And he's walking through a minor chord. This is an E minor. So he's doing an open 2nd string, 8th fret, 9th fret of the 3rd string, 8th fret of the 2nd string, 7th fret of the 1st string. And he's going to slide from the 9th fret of the 1st string to the 12th. So the whole thing. And then he comes back on that minor shape. And he's going to slide on the 9th fret of the 4th string. Something like that. So this whole lick, that's what I think he's doing. I tried it way up here. Just doesn't sound quite right. So I'm pretty sure he's playing it here in that first. I can't tell if it's an open 2nd string by itself or even maybe an open 2nd and 1st. If you can figure it out, good for you, but I think that's what he's doing. That's a really cool lick, throwing that minor idea in the middle of this solo. And then he does it again. Open. This time he's going to slide from the 12th and then come back down here where he's going to go back into the solo. After the minor thing, after he does this, he comes back down here and he does an open 1st string, 3rd fret of the 1st string, open, and then he does one of these slides where he's using the what he could do in this first position, E, sliding from the 3rd to the 5th, and then back up before he goes into the bass note. So the whole thing, let me do the whole next phrase, something like this. We'll take it from the minor chord thing. And so after this, he does the bend on the 2nd fret. It almost sounds like he's bending past, or he's even bending from the 3rd string. I can't tell, I gotta just keep listening to that. So he's bending either the 2nd string, 2nd fret or the 3rd fret of the 3rd string. And then open to the 2nd fret of the 4th string, and then another one of these bends. So he's hammering on the 1st fret of the 3rd string. He does this a lot in the solo. Open 2nd, open 1st, 3rd fret of second string, open. Second fret of the first string, open. And then he does this bend and holds it. And he really bends it up. And that's the next part of the solo. We're getting ready to take it on home here. So that whole next part, let's take it from the minor chord one time. See if I can do this. And then the next part, he's going to do this thing here. Whoops. Where he's playing around in the second blues box. What would be the second blues box of the E chord between the 3rd and the 5th frets. And he starts out walking from the 5th fret of the 2nd string to the 3rd fret of the 1st string to the 5th fret. He's going to bend there. He does the hammer on, pull off on the first, between the 3rd and the 5th frets of the 1st string, and then winds up on the 2nd fret or the 5th fret of the 2nd string. And then he's going to go back to the 5th fret of the 1st string, 3rd fret, and then to the 5th fret of the 2nd string and slide it. So the whole thing. And then he's going to do this little walk lick using open strings. Open 2nd string, and then slide from the 2nd to the 4th fret on the 3rd string. Again, this time he's sliding up instead of sliding the other way. So it's open 2nd, slide 2nd to 4th, open 2nd, then he goes to the 2nd fret, I think it is, of the 2nd string. He does these slides again from the 2nd to the 3rd fret. So let me try to put the whole thing together here. And he does this, I think 3 times, then to the 2nd fret of the 2nd string. He's going to do a hammer on, pull off on the 2nd fret of the 2nd string, and wind up on the 2nd fret of the 3rd string. So that whole lick one more time. And then he winds up the solo with these real simple, primitive little licks where he's doing hammering on, pulling off on the 3rd fret or 2nd fret of the 3rd string, and then winding up on the 2nd fret of the 4th string. Then he bends. He does it 3 more times. Then he goes same thing, but this time going from the 2nd fret of the 4th string to the 2nd fret of the 5th string. And then he winds up going from a C ninth to a B ninth to wrap up the solo with the chord. Then he goes back into the next verse of the song. So let's take the last part of that solo one more time and see if we can get it. Let's see. And there you go. That's an awesome solo. So many ideas. The slide, the open string, and especially these slides. Those are things, they're very subtle little licks you can throw into your playing and make it sound so much more interesting. The use of the minor chord thing. And again, on the recording he's playing at such an extreme volume. Maybe that's what gives it the sound. I'm not loud enough and not distorted enough to really match what he's doing, but I think that's where he's playing it. Now the end of the song, very last part of this, so we won't drag this out any longer. A lot of guitar in this song. The end tag is really cool. And he does these sliding licks. And this part, again, I'm not positive what he's doing, but I'm pretty sure. So he winds up the song, gets to the 5, and he does that chord walk from the B ninth to the B flat ninth to the A ninth. And then Junior Parker sings, and he does this lick like this. So what he's doing is doing these slides. He's picking and then sliding down from the 12th fret. I think the first time through he goes from the 12th to the 6th. And he does this single string run, 6th, 5th, 3rd on the first string. And then he does it again. This time he doesn't play the 6th fret. Sounds like he goes from the 12th and just goes from the 5th to the 3rd on the first string. And then winds up on the 5th on the second string. So the whole end part. Whoops, I missed a note. He does a bend, like an open second, and he bends up, and then I can't remember if he plays just the 13th chord or if he plays the 9th. Drops in the 13th at the very end. Again, I'll put that on the tab and get that exactly right. So there you have Little Junior Parker's Bad Women, Bad Whiskey. That is my song breakdown for the month of February. That should keep you busy, give you lots of ideas, giving me lots of ideas for how to play, especially those sliding ninth chords behind a singer, behind a harmonica player. If you have any questions, comments, corrections, let me know. I'd love to hear it, and I'll update my videos if I learn anything new from you. I'll see you soon, back in March with another song breakdown.